This is flirty, dirty, and bookish.
Welcome to the dark side.
Listen if you dare.
Hello?
Testing.
Okay, so before we get into this series, we wanted to let you guys know that there is a lot of spoilers. So if you have not read this series and you don't want spoilers, please don't listen. Go read them first and come back. Also, if you like spoilers, feel free to listen because you're just like me and I love spoilers.
Also, there's a lot of triggers in these books. We just wanted to give you guys a heads up. We're not going to discuss what the triggers are right here, but they
Those
will
give
be
away
talked
spoilers,
about
too.
in the episode.
Yeah.
Because we would spoil it if we did. However, if you want to listen to the episode and you don't care about spoilers, but you want to know what the triggers are, you can just go look at the book and read the trigger warnings first to make sure that you're okay with everything we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I feel like we try our best to say, oh, trigger warning before we start talking about something that could be triggering to people. But when you're mid-conversation and you go on a little bit of a rant, sometimes it can be hard. So we just wanted to put this at the beginning just to let you guys know that will be involved in these next few episodes. So, yeah, just so you guys are aware. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to Black Hallows. Okay, guys, so we are finishing off Black Hallows with Ruthless Rebel.
That's actually crazy that we're already done.
I swear I'm not going to cry.
You are going to cry.
I'm going to cry.
It's going to be worse than Reckless Rebel.
If you guys thought I was dramatic then, well, you're about to think we're all dramatic because it gets worse. Way worse.
So the prologue actually starts in Lincoln's POV when he's 8 years old, and it's a straight outward explanation of what happened that night that he killed his dad.
Yes, at 8 years old. His dad was a serial killer, which we've heard glimpses of.
Yeah.
We just never got the full story of what happened, but we knew his dad was a serial killer. And he would kill his victims, who were always female, in their home when in their basement. Mom was away.
Yeah,
because she would go away for work, and sometimes he would make Lincoln help him clean up and bury the bodies.
Yeah, it didn't always start like that. It was one night Lincoln found him, and he goes, oh, you can help me.
Yeah, and then after that, sometimes he would come and take Lincoln from his room in the middle of the night and be like, you need to come help me with this.
Yeah.
So Lincoln was lying in his bed one night, and he could hear his dad was downstairs.
Killing somebody.
And the woman was screaming, stop, don't, over and over again. And all Lincoln can think was he just hoped that his dad didn't come for him to help him clean it up tonight. But then he sees headlights pull into their driveway, and he realizes that his mother has come home early. And he panics and goes to run downstairs, warn his father, hoping that if he can get there first and stop him, then his mother won't find out and nothing will happen to her. Well, unfortunately, she saw what was going on as well, and she starts telling Lincoln to run. But he doesn't, because he's scared of what will happen to her. And then his dad holds a gun to his head while he strangles his mother to death.
Mm.
And her last words were, I love you, Lincoln.
Yeah.
And then 8-year-old Lincoln kills his father.
Yeah.
The girl on the table did survive.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Then it's present.
And then, that's how he ended up in the home.
Yes.
And how he met Jace and Marcus.
Much later on, yeah.
He met Jace first, and Lincoln didn't talk to anybody until Jace pissed him off so much that Lincoln literally had to turn around and say, fuck off, and Jace was like, oh, I knew I'd get you to cry.
Yeah, so Lincoln's dad was very, what's the word for it? He was high society.
Yes.
But I'm trying to think of the word.
Influential?
Thank you. His dad was very influential, and because Lincoln wouldn't talk, because his dad had always taught him, don't talk, don't say anything.
He didn't speak a single word
So,
when his
yeah,
parents
Lincoln
came and collected
literally
the 2 bodies.
refused to say anything. He didn't say anything until years later when he met Jason Marquez. But anyway, so he didn't say anything. So they ended up just, the cops, because of who his dad was, they just brushed it under the rug. So even if someone tried to search up Lincoln's past, they wouldn't find what happened.
No.
So anyway, so yes, years later, he met Jace and Marcus in the home, and Jace was relentless, as always, and wouldn't stop bugging Lincoln until Lincoln finally just told him to shut up, and Jace knew he had him because he finally cracked.
Yeah.
And they've been best friends ever since.
Yeah, much to Lincoln's dismay.
Yes.
So then, basically, there's a lot of edging in this book.
So much edging.
Yeah.
Edging for the characters, edging us,
Yeah.
about the characters.
So in the present, Lincoln and Logan are hooking up every weekend because Logan's
Yes.
at school.
Which we had kind of heard about. Which we had heard about in Jace's
Yes.
book. Yeah.
But now it's like a full-blown, like they're not boyfriends,
Mhm.
but every weekend Logan comes home.
Yeah. So Jace's book ends in October of just after everything had happened, or the October after everything had happened the year before. And this book picks up not long after
Like
it,
November.
because it picks up like November. So there's not too much time in between. Jace
No.
hasn't been back for that long, so not a lot has changed. It's still him and Logan are just hooking up.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
But when we were talking about edging, it's because Logan and Lincoln make it very obvious to Asher that they want him.
Constantly. Logan's been flirting with him since he met him when Asher was 14
Yeah.
and Logan was 15. And Lincoln's made it obvious since that first night that Asher was in the earpiece.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have not let up
Not-
on this man.
No.
And now they've joined forces.
Yeah. No, like literally, so they're in the house that in Marcus's like family home.
The same
They
one
all
they were
live
living
there.
in Jason's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, Asher doesn't live there. He has his own place, but he ends his nights there every night because 1, he doesn't like being alone, and 2, because of Cassie.
Yeah. But he does have like a penthouse in town, but he
That he
doesn't
never
stay there
goes
very
to.
often.
No, only
Unless
Cassie's
like
away.
Cassie's like visiting her grandparents,
Yeah.
Arthur and Helen.
Okay.
So, for context right now, we're not sure what Lincoln is doing, but if you remember when we were talking about Jace's epilogue and Asher came in at the very end and like pulled
And screamed at him.
and screamed at him, was like, we need to talk right now. Well, Lincoln is up to something. We're not sure what at this point. We just know that whatever he's doing, he's hiding from everyone. The only one who knows about it is Asher. And that's really all we know. I mean, it's Lincoln, so you figure it's something dark and twisted. He's not fucking playing video games in the middle of the night and like streaming it online. Like, this is Lincoln we're
It's not a
talking
secret
about.
OnlyFans account.
Yeah, no, this is Lincoln. Unless people are paying to see him butcher somebody, I don't think that's what he's doing.
No.
Yeah.
So, the book picks up and Logan is in Lincoln's bed, but Lincoln can't sleep, so he goes downstairs and sees Asher sitting there and drinking vodka by himself.
Because they both have like insomnia.
Yeah.
Lincoln's is obviously caused from when he was a child and all that trauma. And Asher's is also caused from trauma from his father.
Yeah, from actually the night.
From the night of L, because every time he closes his eyes, that's what he sees.
Yeah.
Which,
I know. They need therapy.
like, Elle went through a lot, but, like, I feel like a lot of people forget that so did Asher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he saw it, and then he
Like,
had to
it's
go back
not-
and
it's
live
one
with that
thing. It's
monster.
one thing to like have it be done to you. It's another thing to watch your friend go
But
through
he,
that.
not only that, he had to help pin her down because he had to
Yeah.
pretend like he was a part of it, and he had to watch her look a betrayal in her eyes,
Yeah.
staring at him and like looking at him like she hates him now and all this stuff.
Mhm.
Like, obviously it didn't last long. She got him out of there, or he got her out of there and all that stuff. But in that moment, if that's what he's seeing when he closes his eyes, he's seeing his best friend
Brutally fucking raped.
brutally raped. But not only that, he's seeing her hate him and thinking he's could actually be
Mhm.
capable of something like that.
Yeah.
So of course the man doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So between that and him and Lincoln are just freaking match made in hell.
Truthfully. But yeah, so then this is the first time we hear about like his extracurriculars, because Asher's like, oh, no extracurriculars tonight, and then Lincoln goes, not the kind of activities you're thinking of. And Asher, lying to himself, says, well, we both know I have no interest in those activities. And then Lincoln goes, one of us knows that. The other's a liar. So
Asher's in
that's just
clear
a prime
denial.
example of what happens. And then later
Constantly.
that night, Asher lays in his bed listening to Logan being fucked by Lincoln through the wall, because their bedrooms are just so happen to be beside each other.
Asher is so mad about that, by the way. He's like, out of all the rooms in the entire house, I don't know what Ella was thinking when
They're
she
wall to
decided that me and Lincoln needed to share a goddamn
Honey,
wall.
she was thinking what everybody's been thinking, that you belong with them.
But it was so funny when you read that part, though, because in Asher's head, he's like, I would rather share a wall with Conrad, which is Jace, who hates him. He's like, I would have rather shared a wall with him before he was with his girlfriend Riley and listened to all those fucking orgies before I would ever want to share a wall with Lincoln.
Yeah.
Oh, Dark Prince, don't be so gloomy.
So then later that morning, they're in the kitchen, and Logan and Lincoln are kissing. But Lincoln's not looking at Logan.
No, he's looking at Asher.
Making full-blown eye contact while making out with his...
Not the first time. Do we not remember the gym scene?
Yeah. They left their little eye contact.
So the thing is, Asher, if you don't want it, why aren't you looking away?
Because he wants to.
So moving forward, Lincoln and Asher work together in some sort of, I guess, like PI.
So they were.
Like, what are they?
So you know Zach, obviously, is Zach Royton, which is Elle's older brother and also Asher's. And he has his tech company, but his tech company is like tech security and all that kind of stuff. So when the war was going on and everything, obviously Zach needed to be there with his sister because she was still like in high school and everything. So he was there with her.
He was shot.
Yeah, keeping her safe and all this stuff. Or it's more like everyone was trying to keep him safe.
Yeah.
So he had to open up a like a branch of his company there so he could run it from there. But of course, when the war ended and everything, he had to go back to like his head office
in New York,
which
is where Logan and Lily go to school, and where Max also runs his company from.
Yes. And then Max is like not fully interconnected with Zach's, but like sometimes they work together.
Well, because Max is like actual security, and then Zach is cyber security. So like,
and then sometimes they have clients where they actually need like real security, and so he'll hire Max's team. So anyway, when the war happened, obviously some of Max's team they like became friends with the guys and all this stuff, and a few of them ended up staying behind and working at that branch, and Zach left the branch in Black Hallows for Lincoln and Asher to run. So they run part of Zach's company.
But they're also kind of like PIs almost.
So they do the same thing Zach does, but they're more hands-on than Zach. So Zach's company does that, but when it comes to like if they're dealing with someone's stalker or something and they actually need to like go and deal with it or something like that, typically that's when Zach would hire Max and his team. But because Logan and Asher and the guys that were on Max's team that stayed behind, that's what they do anyway. They don't need to go and hire somebody else. So they're kind of like, they can do it all. So obviously they kiss in the kitchen or whatever. The boys have to go to work, and Logan needs to go back to school in New York because he only comes and visits on the weekends because obviously he needs to be in New York for school the rest of the time. And so Logan leaves, and I don't know why Lincoln just decides, he's like, Asher, do you want to ride to work today?
They've been working together for like a year.
Yeah, and Asher's like, you've never offered me a ride to work before. He's like, no. Like, what? No, I'll drive myself. Like, thanks. So Asher leaves to go to work. Well, Lincoln gets to work. He still just wants to see Asher. He can't figure out his own mind either. And he's like, okay, well, it doesn't look like he has anything on his schedule. I'm going to go and talk to him right now. Well, he goes to talk to Asher, but they're oh my god, they have the best freaking receptionist ever, Eliza.
Oh, I love
just
her.
need to mention her. She's the best. Anyway, and she's like, oh, Mr. Donovan's with someone right now, like blah blah blah. And Lincoln's like, there was no one on his schedule, so he barges into Asher's office, and there's this woman. What's her name? Sierra.
Yeah.
She's mentioned a few times. That's just why we're saying her name, because we'll probably bring her up again. Anyway, so she's in the office with Asher, and Asher's like, can I help you? And he goes, oh, I didn't know you were with anyone. I just wanted to see if you wanted to go to lunch. And Asher's like, the fuck?
He's like,
But wait for it. This is why this is important, guys. Okay. So Miss Sierra starts flirting with Lincoln.
Yeah.
Because, like, Lincoln.
Because he's like, it's a pleasure to meet you. She goes, oh, the pleasure's definitely all mine, Lincoln.
Well, Asher clearly does not like this and flat out asks,
did you enjoy your weekend with your boyfriend, Lincoln?
yeah. And then she's like, oh, the good ones are always gay.
Yep.
And then when she leaves, he's like, really? Was that necessary? And like, you need to out my sexuality? He goes, I didn't know it was a secret. He's like, it's not.
But you just wanted her to stop flirting with me, brother.
And then in Lincoln's head, he's like, people flirt with me all the time, but I guess it's never happened in front of Asher before. It's kind of nice to see his reaction.
Yeah. So then Elle comes to the office because they are having a meeting, like a video conference with Zach and Max about the security and about.
So this meeting, it's about security, but it's about security for her wedding. So obviously they're still
getting married in the Maldives.
Elle isn't exactly.
They're not low profile people by any fucking means.
So anyway, it's a destination wedding. Obviously, it's mainly just the family going, but they still need to have security there just for safety reasons. So they're figuring out who's flying out when, who's flying with who, what security guards are going, who's staying behind to run the offices, blah, blah, blah. So they talk about it. So Zach, Max, Lily, Logan, Arthur, Helen, and Cassie.
And Marcus.
Sorry, I forgot about Marcus's own wedding. I'm so sorry. Anyway, and River are all getting on the first plane out. However, Sophia, Riley's younger sister, because the Duckers are all incorporated now, which is so cute, she finishes school later than Lily and Logan do. So they're staying behind 2 days longer. And then Jace, Riley,
the Deckers.
G-Dog.
G-Dog.
So they're all flying out that day. They're taking some of the security with them. Then, that just leaves Lincoln and Asher. Well, Lincoln knew that he was going to be flying out on the Monday, which is 3 days after everyone else is flying out. And he knew he was going to have to because he had some clients that refused to move their Monday schedulings to earlier on. What he didn't know is that Asher also had clients that refused.
They're going by themselves.
So they're flying together, and neither of them is very... Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say Lincoln's not happy about it. Asher is not happy about it at all. He, like, tries to beg his clients. They will not move. It's a issue. And then... So, getting closer to the wedding.
Hold on. Prior to the wedding, Max, Zach, Lily, and Logan all go to dinner. Okay? Here's hints on what's coming for Max and Lily and Zach. So, they're sitting there at dinner, and Lily walks in the room as Zach is talking, and literally stops mid-sentence, and both Max and him just stare at her. And then, like, Logan's like, why are you so dressed up? And then Zach is like, ignore him, Lily. You look beautiful, sweetheart, doesn't she? As he looks to Max. So I think shit's been going on for longer than we think.
Oh, no. It definitely has. Because as you read the book, this isn't important to later on, but it's to what we're talking about now. As you read the book, Jace is always the most intuitive out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks he's dumb, but he's not. Jace, the entire book, if you're paying close enough attention, makes comments about Zach, Lily, and Max the entire time. At one point, they were talking about threesomes. Well, everyone's always ganging up on Jace about threesomes. And he said, Lily, you're one to talk. Like, Jace knows shit. Yep. So it's definitely been going on for a hell of a lot longer.
And who knows? Maybe Lily has told Jace because they got, like, weirdly close.
They talk. They were the ones that would like hang out at the family things prior to Riley and all that stuff. So yeah, I definitely think he knows something, but he also is just the most intuitive and he picks up on things. Anyway, so they have this dinner. Logan ends up going home later and he has a phone call with Lincoln. And they become boyfriends. But not only are they boyfriends.
He goes, so we're exclusive. And then Lincoln goes, just you and me. And then Logan goes, just you, me, and him.
So not only are they boyfriends, as she just said, no, they're boyfriends, but Asher's included, even though he does not know this, claims, I'm going to change it to, claims to not want to be a part of it, and would literally shit himself if he found out that as they became exclusive, this was the conversation they were having.
Imagine.
So it ends up switching over to Lincoln's point of view. He goes, oh, I have a boyfriend, but not only that, you're finding out what Lincoln's doing. And you find out what Lincoln's been up to. He's murdering people.
Yep. He's murdering people that harm other people.
Yes, so people who have raped women.
Not even,
yes, whatever. Anyone who's ever molested anything and has gotten away with it for any reason, he kills one of them a week.
That's a lot of fucking people in one town.
It's Black Hallows. Well, he does say he goes to surrounding towns as well. He's not just doing it in Black Hallows. But
so as he's staring down at this lifeless body, he's having a conversation with Logan about being boyfriends.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's completely normal.
Yeah.
To do. Yeah, so he has this like cabin that he like takes them to and like does it so that he can like completely clean it up.
He literally dissolves them in a vat of acid.
Yes.
After he rips them apart.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
No one ever said he was normal.
No. So the wedding is getting closer and Asher is at work one day and he comes into work and he's like, oh, where's Lincoln? To Eliza because he notices that he still hasn't come yet and that's not normal for him. And she says, oh, he went up to New York to go see his boyfriend. And Asher's like, boyfriend? Are you sure that's what he said? He said boyfriend? She's like, yes. Yeah, he said boyfriend. And then later on it switches to Lincoln's point of view and he's waiting outside of Logan's apartment for him to come home. And he gets a call from Eliza. It's like, Mr. Blackwell, we need your help. Asher's going. And he's like, hold on, Eliza, I'll pull up the security. So he's looking at the security footage of the office, and Asher is throwing shit.
Throwing desks, chairs, breaking walls.
He's losing his shit, and finally he's like, okay, Eliza, I'll deal with it. Hangs up on her and finally sees all the text messages he got from the other guys at the office to his phone. Would you care to please read those text messages? Because I think they're rather hilarious.
Okay, so the text messages. Seb, Link, man, can you talk to Ash? He's pissed. Harry, yeah, man, he's going fucking crazy today. Landon, we'd do it, but we all know he's a fucking psychopath. Seb, I think it's unfair to actual psychopaths. Seb, that man has the devil himself inside him. Harry, yeah, I don't care if I fought in a war. I'm not fighting him. Landon, I'd rather fight 50 toddlers. Seb, in what universe is fighting 50 toddlers a comparison? Landon, have you met toddlers? They're fucking insane. Harry, yeah, I'm with Land on this one. Kids are crazy. Harry, just like Donovan. And then Lincoln calls Asher.
And then Lincoln, after reading that, he's even happier. So he calls Asher. And he's like, I didn't know we were redecorating the office. And Asher's like,
he's like, why don't you concentrate on your boyfriend and leave me alone, Blackwell? He goes, so this is what that's about. Get it now? You're pissed that I have a boyfriend. Wow.
Yeah, we'll say what he says next because he mentioned something.
Contrary to what you believe, what you and Logan do together, including your relationship status, is no concern of mine. Oh, is that right? Not even if I tell you that sometimes we imagine you between us? When you get tired of rearranging furniture, let me know, because there's plenty of other things I could do for you to release all that pent-up energy. Have a nice day, Dark Prince. And then hangs up.
He hangs up, and then he continues to watch Asher in the security footage, and Asher's just standing there staring at his phone. but he stops raining havoc, goes to his office, and slams the door.
Yep. Oh, and this is when we know that Logan is a true Vampire Diaries fan, because he goes, I knew where you were obsessed with me, Lincoln. Because, like, Damon Salvatore goes, I know you're obsessed with me.
So, yes, and then Logan and Lincoln have a little fun time at the apartment together. Yeah. And then
this is when Lincoln tells Logan a little bit of what happened. He says that his mom died when he was 8 and that he killed his dad, or he killed him.
He killed him, and then
the night he killed
Logan
my mother.
asks when he killed his dad, and he goes, the night he killed my mother. And Logan realizes that he just admitted that he killed his own father when he was 8 years old.
Yeah. And then Lincoln leaves in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but they're all good before he leaves.
Oh yeah, no, they're fine. Because Lincoln's like, "This is your out." He goes, "No,
I'm not scared. Like, I'm staying." Yeah. And then it's might be like a few days later or whatever. Logan's at the house. Everyone's at the house, including Asher and Jace and Lincoln, because they're saying goodbye to like Cassie and all them. Because it's the day that they're leaving.
Yeah.
To go. So they go to leave. The boys go to work. And while they're at work, Lincoln has a very interesting meeting with none other than Josh Peters. We know exactly what happens in this meeting. We don't need to rehash it again. I just felt the need to mention it. So Josh Peters, I just realized after I said that, we didn't talk about her hockey series on this yet. We will eventually.
Oh my god, it's so fucking
but Josh Peters is a hockey player from her Hockey Romance series. So this just shows you that it's all very interconnected, and like you see the people and everything. Like,
this scene is shown both ways.
Yes. So you see it from Asher's point of view
and Josh's.
So you never see Lincoln's point of view of the whole meeting, because that would just be like redundant.
Well, because Josh is talking to Lincoln.
Yes. So then you see Asher's point of view later when Josh like comes out and he's like leaving and he makes a comment or whatever. Well, and you find out that Asher and Josh like know each other because they ran kind of the same circles in high school. Like, you know, like the teams of their high schools would play against each other because they both went to very ritzy schools and everything.
But Josh's dad is the mayor
of Fairfield, which is 2 towns over or something like that. Yeah.
And Donovan's dad obviously has a thing. Asher's dad has a thing, or had a thing, because, you know, he's dead, thank God. Mm-hmm. Had a thing for making influential friends. So obviously Asher ran in the same circles as Josh.
Yeah.
And then Josh literally asks him, are the rumors true? Talking about how he killed his dad and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then Asher just goes, some of them are true, some of them are a lot kinder than the truth, and then he walks away.
Yep.
And scaring the fuck out of Josh.
Yep. And then
I can't wait for the second gen series. Imagine Josh Asher does have a kid.
Yes, but we know who Asher's kid's gonna end up with.
I know.
But Asher and Lincoln may adopt. Who knows?
I know, imagine. That'd be cute.
That'd be funny. Because we unfortunately can't see Josh's rival kid end up with his kid.
They'd be cousins.
Yeah.
That'd be weird. They're not from Mississippi or Alabama here.
That's what I'm saying. So it would be nice to see him with someone he doesn't get along with. Anyway, so anywho, in this moment we also find out that Asher is very pissed off because he's now learned, well, that's actually like later in the day, Logan and them, their flight has already left. He could not join that plane, for context here. But he finds out that his one appointment on Monday has now canceled, and his other appointment, which was Miss Sarah Banks, has moved her appointment now to today, and now she's coming to see him, and he's pissed off because his only other option is either stay flying with Lincoln on Monday or get on a plane with Jace Conrad. To which Max told him that if he wants to fly with Jace, he needs to call and ask Jace himself. So obviously, Asher is still stuck with Lincoln.
But yeah, so then Sierra comes and says that there's been 5 murders.
She just like randomly
Yeah.
brings it up.
And she's
too.
like, it's so scary. So basically, Sarah is there because her...
She has a psycho ex-husband who's
Yeah.
still stalking her, and she's worried, like, for her safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she, like, brings up these 5 men that have been killed. Asher assumes that they're Lincoln.
Yes.
Because they fit his profile.
He's like, how the hell could you be so goddamn sloppy? Like, is what he's thinking in his head.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't understand it. Later on, Lincoln goes to murder somebody. Again. He hasn't seen Asher since Asher found out about the 5 bodies or anything like that. So, look, Lincoln goes to murder someone. Well, we find out more about Lincoln's cleanliness process.
Yeah.
And it involves burning his clothes at the scene of the crime.
But everything that he's wearing, including his underwear.
Just in case, which it's smart. Yeah. But his car is also, for safety reasons, not parked near the place his kill cabin, but also, for safety reasons, his spare clothes are kept in the car.
So he walks
naked through the woods, which will be fine. Nobody's ever going to see him. Except that Asher's waiting at his car to yell at him. And he's like, why the fuck are you wearing any clothes? Like, why are you naked in the middle of the woods? And he goes, why does it make you uncomfortable, Dark Prince?
Yeah.
And he's like, yes! Like, no fucking shit, it makes you uncomfortable. And then he ends up finding out the 5 bodies. And Lincoln,
and he goes, I'm not fucking stupid. It's not me.
Yeah,
I never lied to
you. Fucking think I am. Like, I've never once lied to you. Why would I start now?
Yeah.
So Asher's like, okay, whatever. And then they don't see each other again until Monday when they're getting on the plane because Asher goes back to his penthouse for the weekend because he doesn't have a reason.
As they're walking away, Asher goes, fuck you, Blackwell. And then he goes, anytime you want, Dark Prince. Like, literally, they are making it so obvious that they want him. But, like, he's just not giving in. And obviously they see something that, like, he's good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so then Monday comes along. They haven't seen each other since. They get on Asher's already on the plane, waiting, and then Lincoln gets on the plane later. As the plane takes off, Lincoln learns a fun little tidbit that Asher is scared of flying.
Not scared of, bullets hitting his lungs or anything.
No.
He's terrified of flying. But it's because he's a control freak.
Very big control freak.
He'd rather fly the fucking plane than just be a passenger on it.
Yeah. So he's having some control issues. It's the whole thing. Lincoln ends up getting turned on at some point here. Not even sure what Asher does. I don't think it takes much. And he goes to the bathroom to rub one out. And Asher ends up going to the bathroom. He's like, Lincoln, they're about to serve dinner. And he's like, 1 second, I'm coming. And then under his breath, he goes, yes, I'm coming. I'm like, oh my God, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go and they have their dinner, whatever, and then the plane starts to land. They're still kind of sitting at this, like, table situation, and Asher is, like, freaking out. And so Lincoln, like, reaches over to just, like, hold his hand, like, make him feel better. And Asher's like, don't touch me. And Lincoln, like, pulls his hand back, and I felt so bad for Lincoln the first time I read this, because he gets this, like, look on his face, and he's like, I'm sorry, I forgot some people don't like that. And or aren't comfortable with that, or whatever he says. And Asher's like, what
it's
are you
not
talking
about somebody being gay touching me. I just don't like being touched.
Yeah, because he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And Lincoln says that, like, some people aren't comfortable with people who are gay touching them. Like, sometimes I forget. And you kind of, like, see his insecurity there with it, because he's always been very open and honest about it, and you've never really seen that it's impacted him in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the only time you never see it again. But he's like, that's not what I mean, Lincoln. Like, that has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with gay people or you. I just don't like anybody touching me. And this is when we find out that Asher is not a virgin. But the reason Asher's not a virgin is because not long after the outing, when he was still only 14, his dad brought 10 women into his room and had Asher fuck every single one of them. And then after that night, leading up until just before his 18th birthday, every time they would have a party, anything, Asher was expected to fuck someone to prove that he was a Donovan. So
he never willingly had sex with anybody.
But Asher doesn't see it that way. he doesn't see that he was the victim. I think he just has a hard time.
Yeah, because he's like, how could I be a victim? I enjoyed it, sort of.
He's like, I got hard. Like, I got hard. He just, like, isn't seeing it. But, like, at the same time, he was a freaking child. Of course he's not.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, so they have that conversation, and now Lincoln's like, oh, shit, like, maybe we need to back off. And when they land, they go to look for everybody. But they both get stuck at the pool because they see Logan swimming around. And Asher stands there for a solid 10 minutes.
And Lincoln's watching Asher watch Logan.
So Asher's watching Logan and Lincoln's watching Asher. And then Lincoln makes the decision in his head. He goes, I was going to tell Logan that we need to back off a bit because now he knows, like, what Asher went through. So he was going to tell him, like, we need to back off a bit. But he's like, no, I think he just needs a few more pushes and he'll be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then he makes a comment about how great stamina Logan has because he's a great swimmer and he also runs.
Yeah. And then
thankfully for Asher's sake, because Logan eventually gets out of the pool and then he also starts flirting with Asher. Thankfully for his sake, Cassie comes running up. Cassie is wearing a shirt given to her by her Aunt Lily that says, fuck the patriarchy. Asher's like, that's a nice shirt, sweetheart. Like, looking at Lily like, what the fuck? And she goes, thanks, Daddy. Aunt Lily told me that I should never let a man tell me what to do. And Mommy agreed. That's what my shirt means.
Uh-huh. Oh, this girl's gonna be so interesting when she grows up.
She's gonna be rich because then they start having a conversation with each other, but they're swearing at each other, so they all keep handing her $100 bills for her spare jar.
I know. What fucking surgery is gonna put her through college and a home?
What 18-year-olds just walk around with like a bunch of $100 bills in their pocket? Like, Jesus Christ.
Ones that know they can't stop fucking swearing, and that they know that little girl is gonna charge them.
Yeah, but like, dollar bills, people. Dollar bills. Ever heard of them?
So they go and have dinner with everybody. Or, well, Lincoln and Logan go fuck first, and then they go and
they get in trouble because they're 10 minutes late.
Yes. And they go and have dinner with everybody, and then they need to discuss what's sort of going on in Black Hallows with the 5 men that were killed. So they remove Cassie and Riley from the room, and it's just
so it's like after dinner they go to like the pool. There's like this more Cassie's gone to bed with, I think they were with Arthur and Helen or whatever. It's more just like they're kids, like it's the teenagers left, even though
but Riley's not married. There.
Well, Riley and Jace were in the room, and then Lincoln, Asher, Logan, Marcus, and Elle were all in there. And Asher mentions it. Logan's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, what the hell? 5 bodies? Like, what the fuck? And Lincoln's like, I'm not talking about this right now, and looks over at Jace, and Jace is like, Riles, why don't we go play pool? Because Jace doesn't want... Riley is still sheltered from this shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't want her to have to be involved. So he takes her off, and then they're like, okay, we'll come meet you in a second. And then they have the conversation once her and Jace have, like, left the room. Yeah.
So they pull out the file.
Poor Jace doesn't get to know now.
I know, but do you think he really cares and wants to know about fucking 5 dead bodies? No.
Not unless it's affecting someone he cares about.
Yeah. So they open this file, and it's all these photos of these 5 dead bodies. And Logan makes a joke saying that they all look like Lincoln. To which everybody looks closer at these photos, and they do all look like Lincoln.
But the rest of them all kind of just brushed it off, like, oh, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. And then I think it's Lily that makes a joke about how whipped Logan is, because he's seeing Lincoln and everything.
Yeah.
But these people do look like Lincoln, but it's not like fully discussed until later.
Yeah, Lily literally says, never thought you'd be the whip type. And then Logan goes, never thought you'd be interested in my kinks, sis. Not when you have so many of your own. And then Max chokes on his beer.
Anyway, and then Marcus is like, okay, come on, guys. This isn't the time for this. It's wedding time. Like, we're supposed to be having fun. Like, let's go play pool with Jason and Riley. So they all go into the pool room. Well, at one point, Riley keeps bending over the pool table. Jason's up dragging her. No, that's a lie. Ella keeps bending over the pool table, and Marcus takes her away, saying that he needs to go deal with his wife. And then Ella keeps screaming at him, "I'm not your wife yet." And he goes, "Well, maybe I just need to keep fucking you until you are my wife." Or, correction, he says, "I need to keep you. Maybe I just need to keep you screaming my name until you are my wife." Anyway,
Something like that.
Something like that. And then Riley and Jace end up disappearing too, because once again, someone makes a comment about a threesome.
Yeah.
To Jace. And Riley's response is, "Don't bring me in on this, Playboy. Maybe I'll just have to go and like do some research." And he goes, I think I need to remind you who you belong to. So he takes her off. So now it's Logan, Lincoln, and Asher all alone in this pool room. And Logan says to Lincoln, "If I bend over this table one more time, are you going to show me who I belong to?" And he's like, "You already know who you belong to." So they decide to place a bet on the pool table, on the game of pool. If Logan wins, he gets to fuck Lincoln, because Logan's always the bottom. And if Lincoln wins, he gets to fuck Logan right there on the pool table. Asher does not leave the room.
No.
He's still there. Like, clearly Asher
Take a wild guess on who
something.
won.
Lincoln wins.
Yes.
Lincoln wins everything. And he does, in fact, funk. He does, in fact, fuck Logan right there on the pool table. And Asher still has not left the room.
He's sitting there staring at
him with a heart on. So Lincoln tells him to pull out his cock, and that's the first time they all do something together. And not that Asher's anywhere near them, but like Asher gets himself off. Well, yeah. And then he runs away.
Yep.
And Logan goes to follow him, and Lincoln's like, "No, just like give him time." Then the next day,
but we also learned that Asher never actually does touch himself.
That was the first time Asher had ever done that. He didn't know how, so Lincoln had to walk him through it.
Yeah.
After
Asher runs away, Lincoln and Logan talk more in depth of what the fuck Lincoln's been up to.
So while they were on the plane earlier, Asher had mentioned that he really needs to talk to Logan if he's going to continue with this on, and also said that if Lincoln hurts Logan, that he will
hurt him,
which was a development. Anyway, so Lincoln decides he needs to tell Logan. So they go back to their room that night, and Lincoln and Logan are talking, and he tells him, and he says, "Once a week ever since the war, I murder somebody." Well, Logan takes off before Lincoln can finish saying that he does not murder innocent people. He's murdering. Anyway, so Logan takes off. The next day is the bachelor and bachelorette parties. So they're having the bachelor party for Marcus, and Logan is running it. Because of course Logan's running it. Well, Logan is bi.
Yes.
So he has female strippers and all this stuff there, and he's like grinding all over them and all this stuff and like dancing with them, which pisses Lincoln off because he's like, "You're bi, you motherfucker. Like, you can't do that." Anyway, so he's kind of like in the corner talking to Asher.
And Asher's like, "I thought you guys were exclusive."
And he's like, "Well, we're kind of fighting right now or whatever." He goes, "But we are exclusive."
He goes, "Apart from you,
we
are."
Yeah, and Asher's like, "Huh? Like, the fuck?"
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's like, "So what the hell is he doing? Is trying to forget who he belongs to. What are you?" Because Asher's not like entertaining the strippers or anything.
Lincoln ends up deciding that he's talking to Asher, and he tells him that what happened when he was a kid was basically rape, that it wasn't consensual.
Mm-hmm.
And Asher's like, "That's not true. Like, I got hard." And he goes, and the reason they're having this conversation is because when Lincoln asked him about the night before, Asher's response was to say, "It's not the first time I've been in that situation." And Lincoln's like, "Don't you dare compare last night to what your father did to you."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Did you want to sleep with those women?" He's like, "Well, I got hard." And Lincoln's like, "That's not what I'm asking. You know it. Did you?" He's like, "Would you ever sleep with any of them again?" "No." "Did you want to sleep with them?" "No."
Were you attracted to them? No.
No.
Are you
attracted to me?
Yes.
Are you attracted to Logan? Yes.
No.
Oh, I thought he asked about Logan.
Are you attracted to me?
Yes.
Do you want me? Yes.
Yes.
Do you want Logan?
Yes. So then Lincoln kicks everybody out.
Every single person out. Fuck Marcus and his bachelor party. No.
No, but Marcus gets the assignment. He's like, come on, guys. I guess this is a moving bachelor party now. Let's go. So they all leave, and then Logan goes to leave and goes, not you, Logan. You stay.
Yep.
So Logan, Asher, and Lincoln are once again alone.
And he goes, do you want to play a game, Dark Prince? I knew you'd be a good boy. Come here. And then he puts Logan on his knees. Which Logan does. He's like, I'm still mad at you. Like, I'm not happy with you right now. Anyway, so they, Logan sucks Asher off. And then Asher runs away again. Yeah.
And then now Logan and Lincoln get to finish their conversation. Yeah. And Logan's like, I just don't know how I feel about you murdering like innocent people. And he goes, do you really think I'd murder innocent people? Like, I'm not. And he goes, I don't know why like I jumped to that conclusion. He goes, like, it's okay if you don't want to. And he goes, no, like, that's not what. Or he's like, I'm just scared. And he goes, you don't have to, like, I would never hurt you. Like, don't be scared of me. And Logan's like, I'm not scared of you. I'm scared that I'm falling for you. Yeah. And then he goes, you're falling for me? And he's like, yes. And I couldn't stop it even if I tried. So don't ask.
And then the next day, Logan's in the pool. He gets out of the pool, and Asher's standing right there.
Drags him into the pool house.
Yeah. And he goes, if this is about last night, I'm not in the movie. We can pretend it didn't happen, like, whatever. He goes, and then Asher grabs him. And he's like, what the hell is your... And Asher kisses him.
Mm-hmm.
So Asher and Logan now have some sort of physical-ish relationship. Obviously,
whereas
Lincoln's aware of it.
Yeah, and Lincoln and Asher haven't done anything. Yeah. Anyway, so it's now the day of the wedding. We get Elle's POV. It's very cute. We get to see her in River's vows, which was so sweet when you're in, because you also get his POV, and it's just all very cute. And then they go to the reception. Everything's fine. Asher leaves the reception to get some air. Logan and Lincoln end up following him out, and they end up all walking back to their room together after, I believe, Logan and Asher kiss again. Then they all walk back towards their like huts or whatever, but
their rooms,
yeah. But Logan and Lincoln leave their door ajar. And Asher's like, did they do it on purpose? Or were they just like in a hurry because they were so consumed by one another? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. No, they did it on purpose. Anyway, so Asher comes in the room and they're like literally already going at it. And they're like,
hold on. Prior to this, at the wedding, they're all talking about their first kisses. Whatever. And Logan's like, well, mine was great. I was drunk at some party during freshman year of high school, and this girl wanted to piss off her boyfriend, so she kissed me, and then the dude got mad, so to make it even, he kissed me too. Then we all kissed each other. It was a very eye-opening night, at least. And then Jace asks Asher,
because Jace is trying to make an effort.
Yeah. And he goes, my first kiss was unexpected. It was in a pool house. I initiated it on instinct. I didn't even think about it. I just knew I wanted it. It was slow at first, hesitant. But once it got going, it was amazing.
Which is why he went outside to get air, because he just admitted that his first ever kiss was Logan Wright. And it was literally
and Logan's
this
shocked.
morning.
Shocked, to say the least. So then they go back to their rooms and they leave the door open.
And then Asher comes in and then they share another experience together. And then
Lincoln and Asher still have not done anything.
No. And then they tell him that he can stay the night with them, like he doesn't have to leave. And he goes, no, like I should, because Marcus and Elle are going to be bringing Cassie by soon, and I'm going to have her for the rest of the week, because Marcus and Elle are going to have like their honeymoon. And anyway, so the rest of the week is kind of like
they get cock blocked by Cassie, basically, with Asher.
Yeah, but like they're still like, like kind of touching each other in public, like, anyway. And then they all go home, and Logan has to go back to
School.
And so now it's Asher and Lincoln still in town, and Logan has had to go away. Asher still has Cassie, so he's staying at the house with like Lincoln, and Jace wasn't ready to say goodbye to Riley yet, even though they're not going very far from each other, but he's staying at the Deckers for now. So it's just Cassie, Lincoln, and Asher staying in the house. Okay. Anyway, so Asher goes into work. Asher's working from home this week because he has Cassie. And Lincoln goes into work. And he gets his mail from Eliza because the first of every month he gets his mail from the month before. So she kind of just accumulates all his mail for a month and then gives it to him. That's the way him and Asher like it. Well, he goes to his office to open his mail. And one of them is a letter.
And it says, "Are you a fan of my work, Superman? Because I'm a fan of yours."
Superman.
And it's pictures of his cabin where he takes his victim.
Cabin.
Yeah.
And now he realizes that someone has seen him and that it's been compromised. So he spends the rest of the day freaking the fuck out trying to figure out who delivered this letter, when it was delivered. So he was able to get from Eliza, because she's very organized, love her, that the letter would have been delivered within the first week of November based on where it was in the pile. She's a fucking gem. Yeah. Anyway, so he goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and spends the entire day hunting down who did this. He's able to deduct
that it's like
that man. The person who dropped the letter off was one of the that had been killed after that. He was one of the victims.
Yes.
Anyway, so while he's deducting this, he's like, "Hey, I gotta get rid of this cabin." So it's 2 a.m. goddamn morning, and he still has not gone home. And he calls Jace, not realizing what time it is. And Jace is like, "Is everything okay? Like, what's going on?" He goes, "We need to burn something down." And he's like, "Okay, like, send me the address." And then when he goes to send him the address, he goes, "Shit, it's 2 a.m. Like, fuck. Oh well." So they go, and Jace is like asking him like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, "I can't tell you."
He's like, "Can you tell me why you can't give me them?" "No." "Well, okay then." He's like, "Just like that?" "Yeah, just like that." He's like, "'Cause you're my brother." And basically they have like a heart-to-heart. He's like, "Yeah, like, you saved me. Like, of course I'm here just like that. Like, you called me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Clearly you needed me." So he's like, "This is what I need to burn down." Jace goes, burns it down. And he's like, "Oh, are you going back to Riley's?" He's like, "No. She'll smell the fire on my clothes and start asking questions. I don't want to lie to her." He's like, "You don't have to lie to her. I would never ask you to do that." But he's like, Jace is like, "I know, but I also know whatever we did was important too, so I promise it'll stay between us."
So then they burn down the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And they go home. Except Lincoln then disappears for like a week. Like, not answering anybody's phone calls, nothing. He's still showing up to work, but he's not leaving his office. Anyway, Logan starts to get concerned. So he comes home early to see Lincoln and make sure he's still alive. But when he gets there, Jace says he hasn't seen him for a week because Jace has not seen him since they burnt down the cabin. Then he decides to go and check with Asher. And he shows up there and he goes, "You boyfriend stealer." And he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he goes, "Where's Lincoln?" He goes, "I don't know." And he goes, "Well, he has to be here," whatever he says. And he's like, "Well, he's not here." And he goes, "Well, he's nowhere else. Like, has he at least been at work?" And he's like, "I don't know." So Asher calls Eliza because Asher's been with Cassie all week. Marcus and Elle just got back. So he's just back at his penthouse basically now. So he hasn't seen Lincoln either because he hasn't been at work. Anyway, so Eliza says that yes, he's been there, but he hasn't really left his office when he is. So Asher's like, "Okay, I'll call him." So he calls Lincoln, and Lincoln answers his phone call.
Yeah. Probably just assuming it's for work.
And Logan's like, "Well, at least he's answering one of us. Like, I can't even be mad. Like, whatever." And Lincoln basically just says, like, "I'm busy right now. Like, I'll call you back later, both of you." And then he hangs up. And then Asher and Logan share some one-on-one time.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, it ends up switching over to Lincoln's point of view. And Lincoln is showing up at Asher's because he's been stabbed. Not a hospital, not home where someone could call, Arthur, who's a doctor. No, Asher's.
Yeah.
And Asher's like, what the fuck is going on? He ends up patching Lincoln up, and he gets out of Lincoln that Lincoln was just at the house of the man who had sent the man to drop off the letter. And then look, Lincoln or Asher's like, well, did you kill him? And he goes, no, like he had more men there than I anticipated, and he got me.
He's like, I got stabbed a little.
Yeah. So once,
what the fuck do you mean? How do you get stabbed a little? He's like, this is just a tad.
Just a tad, and he's in severe pain.
Oh, no, like he's actually gonna die.
Yeah. So Asher has to stitch him up and then help him shower, and then he gets him into bed. And when Lincoln lies down in the bed, he goes, and what does he say? I knew you liked me. He basically just points out the fact that there's 4 other bedrooms in this penthouse, and Asher put him in his bed. Yeah. And Asher's like, how do you know it's my bed? And he's like, because it smells like you. And then Asher waits until Lincoln falls asleep, and then he sneaks out of the house because now he's going to go and deal with the problem. So he shows up. He kills the 5 guys outside. Brutally. Because he's pissed. Then he gets inside to the man himself who started this all. That stabbed Lincoln. And the guy's like, oh, well, Donovan, you think you can, like, do something to me? Well, you can't. Like, I have 5 guys here. Like, they'll take you down. He goes, you mean the ones I've already killed? Like, okay. And the guy, like, actually starts to get scared. He goes, well, make it quick. And he goes,
you touched something that belonged to me tonight. That was your first mistake.
And your second, it was...
Do you want to know what the second one was? Thinking I would make it quick.
So, he does not make it quick at all. No. There's some shots to the shoulder. There's definitely an exact stab wound. Like, quite literally. Yeah. He goes so slowly inserting the knife into this man's side so that the stab wound is the exact same shape and size as the one that this man gave Lincoln. And when it's all said and done,
he presses an axe to the center of his chest and pushes it down, breaking the skin slightly, and brings his face close to the man and goes, I really fucking hate people touching what's mine, and he's mine. And then he slams the axe into his chest.
Now,
ripping him open.
Now, before Asher entered the house, he did make a call to Zach, not telling him what was going on or what was anything. All he said was that he was going to need a cleanup crew, and Zach's like, I can get one there in like an hour. And he's like, good, I don't even need that much time. Well, as he's taking the axe to this man's chest, like, finishing it off, Seb, Harry, and Landon walk into the room. And I can't remember, was it Seb? He says, I'll take the 50 toddlers.
Seb's like, I'll take the 50 toddlers now. Because of how brutally he fucking ripped these people apart.
Then he rips the man's heart out of his chest and walks away. And they're like,
and Harry's like, please. No, Harry's like, please tell me that's not what I think is in his hand, and he gags.
Asher just he full blown walks out of this house with a human heart. But on his way out, he stops in the kitchen to get a jar for it. Then he gets in his car and he goes to the convenience store
because he gets milk candy. Because those are Lincoln's
Apparently he stops there often too, because the man that's working behind the counter, he's like, don't ask. And he goes, I know better than to ask you questions, Mr. Donovan. He goes, good man. Because he's covered in blood, like head to toe, guys. Anyway, so he gets back to the apartment and Lincoln's still asleep, and he puts the jar with the heart in it on the nightstand, yeah. And then next to it he puts a box of milk duds because they're Lincoln's favorite. And then he sits down in the chair in his room and watches Lincoln sleep.
And then Lincoln wakes up. The first thing he says goes, is that a heart? And Asher's like, it's Billy Powell's heart. That's the guy that stabbed him. And then Lincoln goes, and the milk duds? And Asher's like, they're your favorite. He's like, Lincoln's like, most people would just admit they like me. And then Asher goes, yeah, well, most people lack creativity, discipline, and incentive.
Like, okay, Asher. And then he like tries to claim that it's romantic,
write
and
a
that's what
card.
people do. And he's like, aren't people supposed to give hearts and candy? And he's like, I think you
meant candy hearts.
The kind of hearts that
like
people
the
are talking
candy
about.
hearts, not hearts and candy, just the candy hearts.
Not real hearts and candy. Because that's weird. Anyway, and then he convinces Asher to get in bed despite the blood, and they spoon. And then he's like, you can be the little spoon. And he's like, I'm not little in anything. And he goes, I know, but you can be the little spoon.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing? He goes, spooning you. Logan taught me how. And then Lincoln's like, Asher's like, what the fuck is spooning? And it's another word for cuddling. Now just give it and be the little spoon. I'm not little fucking anything. Oh, trust me, baby. I know, but could you just cut someone's heart out in my honor? So the least I can do is cuddle you. Okay.
And then the next morning when they wake up, Asher and Lincoln like get into the shower, and Lincoln like starts to scrub Asher, like clean all the blood off, and he's doing it so gently that it ends up giving like Asher like almost like a panic attack, and he like gets out of the shower, like he makes sure Lincoln's like positioned that he won't fall. And then he like leaves the bathroom and he goes and he like just starts cleaning everything up. And then when Lincoln comes out, he gets mad at him, and then Asher drops to his knees to fix the stitching and ends up giving Lincoln a blowjob. And then Lincoln lies on the bed with his like head hanging off of it and gives Asher a blowjob. And while this is happening, Logan shows up. Yeah. And then they spend the next week there together, all huddled up, the three of them. Boyfriends.
Like
they haven't like officially
like
made
Logan
Asher
walks in the room and
but...
goes, well, that was the best fucking porn I've ever seen. And they're like,
oh god,
cool.
Anyway, so now it's Christmas. They have to go home because now it's Christmas Eve, and obviously knowing Elle has a whole ass plan for them. So they've been huddled up in Asher's for a week now. They get there and they find out they all have to wear matching pajamas this year. And then they're
not just
like,
the girls,
everybody, because last year just the girls had matching pajamas, but Elle made sure everybody had them this year. So they have like a cute like Christmas Eve, like normal. There was an incident in the bedroom upstairs where Lincoln and Asher were doing something because Logan had gone to pick up Lily from New York, so he didn't come with them to the house right away. So Asher and Lincoln went upstairs for a minute because Asher wanted to check Lincoln's wound, and then they ended up doing some stuff together. And then Cassie knocks on the door, and she's like, "Superman, have you seen my daddy?" And then Asher goes to the door, and he's like, "Hi, Angel. Like, how could what's up?" And she goes, "Oh, Mommy just sent me to make sure you weren't being naughty." Yeah. She's like, "Were you being naughty with Uncle with Superman?" And then he goes, "No, sweetheart." And I was like, "No, I wasn't." And she's like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Why?" Like, kind of asking like why he's in there. And he just says that Lincoln's not feeling very well. And she goes, "Oh, well, you should call Uncle Lo because cuddles always make me feel better." And then Lincoln's like, "Oh, don't worry, Cassie. Your dad gives great cuddles or whatever." And then Asher like ushers her out of the room while glaring at Lincoln, and then tells him to rest and he'll come back for him later. And then they end up having like a cute little Christmas Eve, like always. And then Asher goes to take Cassie to bed later, and as he's putting her to bed, he decides that he needs to tell her something. And he's like, "I have to tell you something, Cassie." And she gets like super excited, like thinking she's about to find out a secret. And he says,
"You know how Uncle Logan and Lincoln are boyfriends?" She goes, "Yes, I know." And then he's like, "Well, if it's okay with you, they want me to be part of their relationship too." Cassie's like, "Oh, I already know that."
And she gets disappointed.
And she's like,
"Yeah."
She's like, "You're," Asher's like, "You already know what? What do you mean?" And Cassie's like, "I heard JC asking River why they're so obsessed with you. Mommy says it's because they're missing piece. And I seen the way you watch them." "How do I watch them?" "You look at them the way River looks at Mommy and Grandpa looks at Grandma. Like they're your favorite."
Oh. And then he whispers to her, Or then he says
You're
to
my
her, "You're my
favorite, but they're
favorite,"
close
and then he
second.
whispers, "But they're a close second." It's so cute.
So cute.
So cute. Oh. Anyway, and then they
And then Asher comes downstairs and said, "Are you feeling better?" loudly in front of everybody.
because Lincoln, he could tell Lincoln was feeling bad that he wasn't like helping out, but he couldn't help out, but no one knew why he couldn't help out. And then he basically just says that he had food poisoning and that him and Lo had like been taking care of him.
Yeah.
And then they take him off to bed and they all go upstairs together. And then Logan wants to watch Die Hard. Or no, Logan wants to watch Home Alone. And they're like, "We're not watching a kiddie Christmas movie." And he's like, "All Christmas movies are for kids." And they're like, and then both of them say at the same time, "Die Hard," like as in it isn't. And so they all watch Die Hard together, all cuddled up in bed.
And then they also agreed to be boyfriends.
Yeah, they're all agreed to be boyfriends.
Yes.
And then the next day they're all like giving gifts and everything. And Asher Cassie gives Asher adoption papers to officially become her dad, even though she doesn't know what's happening. But Elle, like, obviously, like, looks at him and she goes, "It was time." And Asher's like trying not to cry. And then to make it worse, Lincoln gives him a scrapbook filled with pictures of like Cassie and all, and like everybody with Cassie. And then on top of it, Logan gives Lincoln and Asher matching chains with crowns on them, and written on the crown is, "To my boyfriend." And Asher's like, "Wow, like you're really sure of yourself." And he's like, "Of course I am."
Yeah.
Anyway, so they end up spending like the rest of the holidays together, and then Logan has to go back to school. And it's the first night of like Logan being gone, and Asher's not really sure where he should go to sleep. And Lincoln's like, "You're crazy if you think like you're not sleeping with me. Like you're coming to bed with me." Okay, and then it's time for work to start back up. And Asher's like, "Lincoln, you still need to rest. Like you're still having a hard time walking around. Like you're not fucking going to work. You're like taking like you can work from home." So Lincoln's been coming up with excuses all week, like why he has to work from home.
Yeah.
And then Asher is actually going into work. And then Lincoln ends up showing up at the office one day because he's like, "Fuck this. It's like been 3 days," and he's already like going stir crazy. So he goes into the office and he promises to like take it late, and Asher comes to talk to him and be like, "What the fuck are you doing here? Like you should be at home." And
but then their client Sierra Banks comes and interrupts them, so then Asher has to like
leave. Yeah. And he's like, "Fine, whatever."
So but then Lincoln does go home.
Lincoln does end up going home. He's
trying to get a hold of Logan, but he doesn't answer.
But he can't get a hold of Logan. And then he ends up texting Asher asking when his meeting gets out, wondering when he'll be home, but he hasn't heard from him yet. But at this point, like, he doesn't have any reason to think anything's wrong.
So when he gets home, he gets a delivery, and they open it, and it's a cake, and it's a Superman-themed cake. And and Lincoln's like happy about it, thinking it's like from Logan or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lily calls him, saying that she can't get a hold of Logan.
Yeah, and she's like worried, and he goes, "Well, I'm sure like everything's fine. I'm sure it's okay." And she goes, "No, like it's our parents' anniversary," meaning like their birth parents. And it's the anniversary of their death. She goes, "He would never miss it, Lincoln. I know something's wrong."
Yeah. And then with that cake, there's a note that says, "Did you think you beat me? All you did was raise the stakes."
And then so he hangs up on Lily and starts trying to call Logan frantically. Can't get a hold of him. Tries to call Asher. Can't get a hold of him. And that's when he finally has to tell everyone what's going on.
And Logan and Asher
have been kidnapped.
No, they're missing. We don't know.
Well, they're missing, but you know, you can assume.
Yeah, they're.
Like, where else would they be?
Yeah.
Anyway, and then so he has to tell everyone everything.
Yeah.
And they like work out a plan. They're like, "Okay, you're gonna go here. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that." Ellen and Lincoln, they're gonna find out where the cake came from. They're gonna figure it out, and then it switches over to Logan's point of view, and him and Asher are in some kind of concrete basement,
tied up and beaten to.
They're being beaten over and over and over again, and the one we like personally like see or like that Logan's like paraphrasing. So he had gone to buy flowers. How he got kidnapped was he had gone to buy flowers to take to his parents' graves, but he was so focused on texting Lily that he was on his way that he didn't notice that people had come up behind him and they threw him into a van. And then he'd already been down in the basement for a while when they brought Asher in. Anyway, so they've been being beaten, whatever. Asher ends up making a comment, and one of the guys is like, the boss wants like them left alive, like we can't kill them. And he's like, well, that doesn't mean we can't hurt them pretty badly, especially this one or whatever, talking about Donovan, because they heard he's pretty hard to kill. And they end up shooting Asher in the shoulder, and then
beating the fuck out of Logan,
and then they keep beating them
with a metal pole.
Yeah, and then they drop them both to like the ground or whatever.
And then the boss comes in and says, well, aren't you two just adorable? And Asher recognizes this person.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing here? She's like, I told you I knew all about monsters, Mr. Donovan, and now it's time to teach one a lesson. And they've been now missing for 3 days.
Yeah, so while they were also down there, Logan kept trying to tell Asher that Lincoln would have come for them, that Asher was going to be okay, he was going to be okay, everything was going to be okay, like Lincoln would come, like he would like,
you're going to get out of this.
You're going to get out of this. You're going to be okay. You're going to be with Cassie again. Stop telling me where your fucking will is.
Yeah. And then Lincoln gets a text from an unknown number saying, are you having fun yet? And Lincoln's like, who is this? And that person's like, you don't remember me? Consider me offended. Lincoln's like, tell me who you are. Maybe I'll remember you.
Because at this point, they think maybe it's like someone who's connected to one of Lincoln's victims.
Yeah.
And they don't know it's a female. They're assuming it's a male. Only Asher and Logan know it's a female, and now us.
And they're like, who am I isn't important. Not right now. It's who I have that is. And it's a picture of Asher and Logan. Like, their clothes torn and they're bloody and like all bruised and beat up. And Lincoln's like, what do you want? And they're like, oh, that's simple. I can only kill so many men that look like you. Now I want the real thing. So those 5 men that died, this person killed them.
Yeah, and she basically says she wants to play hide and seek.
She's like, I'll hide them. You come and seek them.
And then there's like a box that's delivered, and inside the box is a bunch of different stuff. But one of the things is a ticket to that bar and ice ball they all went to that Logan attended with them. And also Asher's keys to his old house that they burnt down. So they kind of deduct, okay, Logan is at the school and Asher is at the house. But in the box
is all of Lincoln's entire life.
Birth certificate, everything. Everything. How the fuck did this person get their hands on it? Anyway, but the keys they need to find Logan and Asher, the ticket and the
house keys.
So they split up. Elle, Lincoln, and Max take one car. And Marcus, Jace, and Max take another. And Lincoln says in his head, he's like, no one has to like discuss who's going where. Everyone already knows. And they get into the car. And they end up pulling up to Asher's house. So you know that. I mean, I kind of feel like you deducted it based on the fact that Zach went one way and Elle went the other way. And if Lincoln went with Elle, then he was going to save Asher. Because Elle would go for Asher.
And that is not like in slight of Logan. It's because
but we don't
Asher
get that information yet. But yes, like we do
because Asher's Cassie's dad.
And as we've learned, Lincoln would do anything for Cassie over anyone else. Anyway, so they show up and they end up being ambushed, but they take all the people down and they find Asher like tied up to a tree with like tape around his mouth, and he's in really bad fucking condition. And they also get notifications that they got Logan. He's pretty banged up, but he's alive, and they have him. Yeah,
so they go back to
the house. So they get there, and Logan's like outside, and he's talking, and he's just asking where like Asher and stuff.
He's like, "Where's Asher? I need to see Asher."
And then Lincoln and Asher like get out of the car, and then
he's like, "I thought you were dead. Are you okay?" And then Asher's like, "I'm okay." And then Logan goes, "He's alive. He's okay." And then Logan goes, he's alive, he's okay, everything's going to be okay. And then Logan collapses on the floor.
Like he was just waiting to know Asher was okay.
Yeah.
And then all fucking hell breaks loose. Lincoln pushes Asher into Marcus's arms to hold him up. He runs over to Logan, drops to the ground. Zach's out there, like everyone. Helen comes outside. She's screaming. Jace is trying to hold her up. She's sobbing. Everything's so bad. There's blood now coming out of Logan's mouth.
And he's saying that he loves Lincoln for the first time.
And Lincoln's like, don't say that to me right now. Like, you can't say that right now because you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. And then he lifts his shirt up and he sees that Logan's been internally bleeding.
And then Logan turns to Asher and says that he also loves him too.
But Asher doesn't say it back because
But Lincoln
the
does.
last words out of... And then Lily's like scream crying. She finally makes it over to her brother and he's like... And he's talking to her quickly. And then he says his last words.
He says, Lily, my sweet lily pad. And she's like, I'm here. It's going to be okay. Stay with me.
But he doesn't respond because
he's dead.
Logan Royton took his last breath. And Logan's
dead.
Logan Royton is dead.
It's so fucked up.
I need a minute. Hold on.
It's so fucked up.
We talked about that so fast because I feel like I was trying to make it out, because if I had talked about that in the depth I talked about Jace,
no,
I would have
I was
been
like scream crying when I read this
on
for
the
the
floor
first
right
time.
now. So like I am having a hard time speaking, like trying so hard not to cry. I have lashes on. I don't want to cry them off. It's taking everything I have right now to not break down. Like, you're telling
Just
me
reading
Logan Royton
is dead?
Like, those are actual lines in the goddamn fucking book. Logan Royton is dead. Like, the first time I read this, because this was a reread for me. And
my heart out.
the first time I read this, I sat there and stared at it for a good 20 minutes, just staring at the words, Logan Royton is dead. Like, my throat was raw, my nose was running, like, I could not stop crying. Like, it was horrible. It was bad.
And Lily just fucking screaming.
Lily's screaming. Arthur's, like, there, like, saying, son. Zach's, like, losing it.
Yeah.
Elle's losing it. And then Helen is like dropping to the ground. Jace has to like slowly drop with her because she's just sobbing and like losing it because her son is dead. And Lincoln is like, what the fuck?
And then Asher just
collapses.
collapses.
Asher fucking collapses. So now the sirens are coming. Elle is now screaming Asher's name over and over again, like screaming bloody murder.
Marcus is
Lily screaming
CPR.
Logan's name.
Marcus is fucking resuscitating Asher.
He's doing CPR and Lincoln's doing nothing because he can't help but look at both of his fucking boyfriends. One's dead and one is dying. Logan Royton is dead and Asher Donovan is dying.
Thankfully.
And he just can't stop looking between the two of them. And he's just like, everyone is crumbling. And he's like looking around and like all of Max's guys are there and they look like they feel so bad for them. And he's like thinking about like what it would be like to be on the outside. But no, Helen has lost her son. Arthur has lost his son. Zach has lost a brother and could possibly lose another. Elle may lose the father of her children. He's like, and I just lost like the love of my life. And
it's just so fucked up.
He's like, the Lincoln that Logan loved is now dead.
Yeah. And to make things fucking worse, the next chapter starts with a flashback of when Logan and Asher meet.
Because from Asher's point of view, you're gonna have to take. I need you to take over for a minute because I'm actually gonna. I can't do it. Like, I'm laughing
and
because I don't want to cry.
What's so fucked up about this is because in like Logan's last words to Asher, he said, I love you too, Asher Donovan. I think I have since the moment I saw you. And then we get in the next chapter the moment he first saw him. And that's when he got the nickname My Little Psycho.
The first time we met him.
And then Asher goes, and you are? And then he's like, I'm pretty sure I know exactly who this little ray of sunshine is. My sunshine boy's dead.
Why? Why? Well, then Asher wakes up. He's in the hospital. And he just woke up and he's been under for like a long ass time. And so
Ella's
he's
there.
having Ella's there and he's having a hard time remembering what's going on. So he's asking for Logan, like, where's Logan? And Ella keeps avoiding the question, just telling him telling Asher what his injuries were, what they did to fix it, how long he's been under, blah, blah, blah. And Asher just keeps asking, where is Logan? And finally she says he didn't make it.
It's so fucked up. It's so fucked.
It's so fucked up. It's
But
so
this was
fucked.
her plan the entire time. The fact that she planned this, she plotted it, and was like, yeah, right here, I'm gonna kill Logan.
It doesn't make me feel any better knowing that she was sobbing writing this and that her husband quite literally told her, you don't have to do it. And she goes, yes, I do. But, like, why?
No, you don't. She never had to do this.
Like, there were so many other ways.
Literally, his response to like his internal dialogue to
Finding out Logan is dead.
is saying, I feel like the sun has set and it's never going to rise again. Not for me.
And all he can think about is the fact that he didn't say, I love you back.
Yeah.
He didn't say it back.
And then
Then he
find
asks where
out-
Lincoln
yeah.
is. Because he knows who's coming for him.
Yeah.
And he asks where Lincoln is, and Elle tells him that no one knows where Lincoln is. And he rode it with Asher to the hospital, watched as they took him back to surgery, and then he disappeared, and no one sees. And then she said, and then Asher admits that not admits because he wasn't hiding it. He tells her who is coming for them, and that it's Sierra Banks, but he doesn't understand because he did like a background check on her, whatever. They end up looking into it and they find out that the real Sierra Banks disappeared 2 years ago, and whoever this woman is took over as Sierra Banks for the last 2 years. So now they have to figure out who she really is. And they also have to find Lincoln.
Well, Lincoln is drunk off his ass and has been like stumbling around, still covered in Logan's blood
and Asher's blood.
And Asher's blood. And he ends up in the old foster home where he met Jace and Marcus.
Yeah, because it was like a group home and it ended up being condemned.
And then Jace finds him
in their old bedroom that has their names written on the wall.
Yeah. But Jace can't get him out of there.
But he tells him like that the funeral is on Monday and he better be there and he better not look like he does now.
Well, he goes to the funeral, sort of.
So yeah. But before we know he goes to the funeral, Jace goes to Asher and he's like, I found him. Asher's now out of the hospital, by the way. He's still fucking injured as fuck, but he's out of the hospital. And Jace is like, I found him, like, here's the address, like, you know, see if you could do anything. So before Asher shows up to the funeral, he goes to see if he can get Lincoln to come. And he shows up there, but Lincoln's not there anymore. So he goes to the funeral and everyone's there. And then Asher hasn't seen some of the people since that day. One of them being Helen. Lily's had herself locked in her room since it happened. And he walks up to the front and Logan's like coffin's there. And Helen's sitting up front and she sees Asher and she like grabs his hand. She goes, oh sweetheart, because he's like also like all fucked up. And then he sits with like Helen and then everyone shows up and they start to have the funeral. But then it switches over to Lincoln's point of view. And Lincoln is in the woods watching the funeral. And then he decides that he can't do this and he can't be there and all this stuff. And this is all his fault. And so he gets up to go, but he's still fucking injured. So he makes...
And hammered.
And hammered. So he makes a noise. Well, everyone fucking hears him and looks over and sees him still covered
Everyone's
in their
fucking,
blood.
like, sad and pissed.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are pissed. Some are disappointed. Some are just sad. Asher ends up walking over to him and it's like,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Is that his blood? And basically they just say that like, I didn't save him, I couldn't save him. And then Asher's like, don't you think you're the only one who feels it? Every second since the moment I woke from the hospital, I remember his cries of pain, the way he screamed my name as they beat me, the way he kept telling me to hang on because he knew you were coming. I told him to say goodbye to Cassie for me, and he still had faith you would save me. Now I have to live with that. Live with the fact that you chose to save me, to come for me, and not him. Logan died knowing that. And then Lincoln's like, I didn't choose you, I chose Cassie. And then this is when Asher realizes that Logan never said we. That Logan said, while Asher was bleeding, he said that, and Logan, while Asher was bleeding and he thought he was going to die, he didn't say we are getting out of this. He said you are getting out of this. And he's like, he was training to be a fucking doctor. He knew what was wrong with him. He knew he was dying and he didn't fucking tell me. He didn't say anything. He just kept telling me I was going to be fine. And he's like, how could he ever think I would be fine without him? He was my salvation and now he's gone. And then Lincoln's like, because he loved you. And then Asher's like, and I loved him for years and never told him and I didn't get to say it back. And yeah, so they have like a heart to heart, and so he's like let's, like, our family needs you, like I need you, like come home. And then they go and have a shower, and then Lincoln pulls the ultimate dark romance thing onto Asher like he did to him and was like, who did this to you? He's like, I'll tell you who did this, but like you're in no state to help anyone, like go eat, relax, and then like we'll deal with it.
We both need to sleep, like.
So then they go to sleep and they wake up. And they sit everybody down.
Because everyone's already downstairs waiting for them. Like, they knew this was going to happen the next morning.
Yeah. And there's an envelope that was delivered to the funeral home last night. And then Zach is like, from what we can tell, she delivered it herself and she managed to evade cameras as she left. We don't know where she went. And then Lincoln's like, she? They're like, Ash didn't tell you. So then Asher has to tell him that it was motherfucking Sierra Bank.
Yeah, that fucking cunt bag
Killed our Sunshine Boy. Anyways.
the bitch wad. Do you know how hard it was for me, guys, to act like she was just some innocent little fucking girl,
Oh,
you
my
know, who had a
husband.
stalker ex-husband and she was just coming to, you know, get some help from them and she was just a client? And no, she's a fucking psychotic little cunt bag who killed Logan Wright, and she deserves to, no, she deserves more than to rot in hell. Like, have you seen Supernatural? If any of you have seen Supernatural and you saw what happened to Dean Winchester and he's like strung up and he has all the hooks in him and he's just, you know, suffering in hell for eternity, he didn't deserve that shit. She fucking does, like 10 times. I want a pit of lava bubbling up at her constantly. You know, not like she's on fire. No. I want the pit of lava bubbling up so she gets like little relief breaks and then all of a sudden it comes again. Like, I just.
Yes, she deserves every ounce of that.
And I want her to constantly be sneezing. Because if she's constantly sneezing, then she's constantly moving. And if she's constantly moving, then the hooks will dig in and like a little centimeter every time she sneezes. Sorry. There's so much more, but I think we can stop there.
So in this envelope is a fucking phone. And the phone rings and Lincoln answers. Well, he just opens it or answers it and puts it on speakerphone. And she goes, I was starting to think you'd forgotten about me, baby. And then Lincoln's like, how could I forget about you when I didn't even think about you to begin with? And then she's like, what's the matter, baby? Aren't you enjoying my games? And he's like, I can't play your games properly if I don't know the rules. She's like, that's the problem with you, Lincoln. You have too many rules. That's why you couldn't save that boyfriend of yours the same way you couldn't save your mother. And he's like, what's the next game? She's like, oh, that's easy, baby. I'm bored of all my toys and practicing my craft. Now I want the real thing. Come on, Lincoln. Play with me. I know you want to. And he's like, the only thing I want from you is to feel the life slipping from your body with my hands around your neck. She's like, oh, baby, don't threaten me with a good time. Come on, Lincoln. Why don't you come and face me like a man? He's like, I don't suppose you're going to tell me where that is. She goes, you know, you have a certain reputation here in Black Hallows and its neighboring town. In fact, when I whispered your name to people, I saw fear in their eyes. They see you as a ruthless monster, but I see you as a pathetic little boy. You know, your father would have already found me by now and had me strapped to that little table of his. And then he's like, when I get my hands on you, you're going to wish he killed you first. And she's like, what makes you think that isn't exactly what you want? And the note says, there's a note in the envelope and it says, I love you, Lincoln. And those are the last words his mother ever said to me. This is when Lincoln figures out that Sierra Banks is the girl from his father's table. Her real name is Vivian West, and she was the only person ever to survive his dad. And that was the woman he saved the night that he killed his dad and the night that his mom died.
Which is how she knows so much. Since everything was buried, she's the only one who could have known anyway.
So,
which means, Lincoln, this was not your fault. You literally could have done nothing. She's been coming for you since you were 8.
Yeah. And so they're all packing up, getting ready to go. Where do they think they're going?
She did send a location, or they were able to track a location or whatever, right. And they think they're going to this specific checkpoint. Well, Lincoln gets on a motorcycle so that he can't be driving with anybody else, just him. And when they all take a right, Lincoln takes a left, and he drives to his childhood home, knowing that's where she really is, and he didn't tell anyone because this is just between them.
Yeah. So basically she was like, they go back and forth. Mm-hmm. And Lincoln realizes
also the house was also condemned kind of, so everything's still
everything's still there.
The table and everything is still downstairs and his dad was trapped them too.
Yeah, so she brings him downstairs, has a gun to his head, and
makes him lie on the table.
Yeah. And this is when he figured out she was not saying stop, don't. She was saying over and over again, don't stop. Because she liked
she was in love with his father. And she is actually delusional to think that he wouldn't have killed her that night and that they were going to live happily ever after together.
He's like, he loved me and I loved him and you took him away from me. That's why I took him away from you. So she killed Logan because he killed his dad and saved
her life. But she doesn't think so. She doesn't think he would have killed her.
And she's like, you're going to die like your mother did, all alone with no one to save you just like that night.
He knows someone's coming to save him.
A dark voice purrs behind her. Who said he was alone?
Lincoln knew that Asher would follow him, just like Asher knew Lincoln wouldn't be going where everyone else was.
Yeah. So
they get the upper hand and they get her on the table. And then Lincoln has his fun. And by fun, I mean, this man, he does a lot of shit.
He gives her every single
injury Logan had. Then he starts to snip off her fingers. And when she starts to pass out from this, they shoot her with adrenaline so she can't. And then he slices off her face. Which it isn't until after her face has been completely sliced off that she finally passes out. She passes out, and then he takes an axe to her chest and takes out her heart and sticks a piece of the rib cage in it, and carved into the rib cage
said for Logan.
And then he drops the heart at Asher's feet.
And he's like, now we're even. And then Asher blurts out, I love you. He drops the heart to his feet. And he's like, I love you.
Not
romantic. And he's like, Lincoln's like, what did you say? And Asher's like, I love you. I'm in love with you, Lincoln, and life's too fucking short not to say it, and we both know that. So I love you. I've been in love with you for a long time, and it's about time I told you. And then he's like, I love you too, Dark Prince. Always have, always will. And then he's like, why did you say it here? And he's like, this is your home, Lincoln. It's where you grew up. I wanted you to have one last good memory before I burn it the fuck down.
burn it the fuck down. Well, who could be doing that?
And then they open the door, and Jace is sitting there, leaning against his car, smoking a cigarette. And Lincoln's like, what is he doing here? He's like, who else is gonna burn this fucker down for us? He's like, and then Jace is like, I don't mind waiting if you two kinky fuckers want to bone in her blood first.
I love Jace, man.
Yeah. And then Lincoln's like, burn it to the ground, brother. There's nothing left for me here. I have everything I need. And he grabs Asher's hand. And then Jace is like, with fucking pleasure. And he burns it down. And then everyone's back at the house. And
Lily's sitting on the couch.
In between Zach and Max.
And Arthur and Helen are also sitting there. And he says it's done. And she says, how did you do it? And he tells her exactly how.
He said, I paid back every injury inflicted on Logan. And then I chopped off all of her fingers, sliced off her face, cut out her tongue, and then carved out her heart. And then Sebastian, one of Max's guys, goes, fucking hell, they're a match made in fucking heaven.
Yeah. And then Lily looks at them and goes, it doesn't help. And she gets up and walks away.
That one's not going to be fun to read.
No, Lily's getting a novella, and then we know
it's not a novella. It's a full-blown novel.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be painful. The
first half is going to be painful for sure.
Because it's going to talk about it. There's no way it won't. Yeah. And I don't know that I can relive new moments of the Logan grief.
No. She even said it was sad herself. She didn't intend for it to be sad, though.
No, but it's going to be. This is Logan's twin sister, and all she had left blood-wise was Logan.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
Yep.
He's never coming back. Because this isn't the Vampire Diaries. We can't just resuscitate them. I think it's why after I finished it, I went and grabbed a fantasy book. Because you can come back to life in those.
Well, I mean, after they come home, they fuck. So,
they fuck.
Yeah.
And Logan's still dead. Okay, they're magic penises. Don't bring him back to life. Do they?
As they're fucking, in Lincoln's head, he goes, Logan Royton was my soulmate, but Asher Donovan is my twin fucking flame. I now know my world starts and ends with him. We will forever share his loss and love, and we'll forever have each other.
Yeah. 1 year later. And doesn't get any happier.
Every fucking epilogue this woman writes starts
at a goddamn cemetery. Every time.
Yeah.
And they're at Logan's grave because it's been 1 year officially since Logan Royton died.
Yeah. And Elle and Asher set up another foundation in Logan's name.
Of course they did, because that's what they do to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
And Arthur and Helen bought a wing in the hospital that Logan dreamed of working at.
Yeah.
And Zach donates to charities for kids that have lost their parents.
But it doesn't make anything fucking better. But every year on this anniversary, Elle
has decided
that everyone's going to have a dinner.
Yes. So they go back to the house for this dinner.
And we find out that Elle is pregnant.
With a girl.
Yeah.
We also find out that Jace has
adopted
taken
a son.
Yes. His name is Cash. And he's around Cassie's age. And we find out because Cassie comes running into the room and says, Daddy, Cash cut the head off of my, what was it, her stuffed horse?
She says, Daddy, Cash keeps stealing my stuffies and cutting off their heads.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And then Asher goes, Conrad, how many times do I have to tell you to keep that little heathen away from my girl? And then Jace goes, I told you he likes her, and his therapist says it's good for him to mingle with other kids his age.
So now Jace and Riley have a child.
Yeah, basically. But then Riley scolds Cash, because she's normal.
Yeah. But, guys, we've talked to her, and there's going to be a second gen, and if you think Cass and Cassie aren't going to have a book, you're dead wrong, and I can't
wait. They're the first ones.
Yes, and I can't wait to see Asher and Jason.
Oh, God.
It's going to be so funny. And Elle, Lincoln, Marcus, and Riley are all just going to be like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. And then Asher's like, yeah,
He'll be setting her teddies on fire next if you have anything to do with it. And then Cash goes, fire? I mean, sorry, Cassie.
He's so his father's son.
And then Lincoln's like, you know that kid is totally gonna be your son-in-law one day, right? And then Asher's like, over my dead body. So, like, everyone knows about it.
Oh, and then they're sitting at the dinner table.
And
Cash is next to Cassie.
Shocker.
Shocking. Jace is with Riley. Marcus is next to Elle, and Lincoln's next to Asher.
Riley
Helen
couldn't
and
come.
Arthur.
Yeah, Helen and Arthur are next to each other. Lily wouldn't come,
So
she's
Max
at home
stayed
with
behind
Zach.
with her.
Yeah. And they're all like sitting there like talking about memories of Logan. And then Asher and Lincoln go to bed and they pull out the matching pajamas
From the
Christmas.
Christmas. And over their bed
Is a picture.
is one of the pictures Logan took of the three of them that night in their matching pajamas.
Yeah.
And they turn on Home Alone and they
walk-
cry together. And that's gonna be their tradition every year.
And that's the end of the book.
And I'm not crying right now at all. Guys, why?
No.
And why'd I let you do that to me again? I can't.
Ugh. So what was your favorite part?
Fuck off.
I can't believe Black Hallows is over.
I know. I cry at the end of series that I really care about, so I would have cried at the end of this book anyway. So just imagine how horrible I was doing at the end. It's the end of Black Hallows. Logan is fucking dead. I can't. And then it's the end of it. So then you think about everyone who's died. So there's Taylor and there's Mason. I don't even want to. No, I can't. Like, favorite part. I don't know. Logan was my favorite part, and he's dead.
I agree, but besides that, mine has to be the heart. Mine has to be
the heart in the
and
jar, for sure.
Yeah, and the milk duds.
Or when Lincoln was sitting outside Logan's apartment, and Logan walks up and he goes, "I knew you were obsessed with me."
Yeah. Or when he cuts out her heart and Asher says, "I
With
love
the
you."
rib.
Yeah.
There's so many good parts of this book.
I
The
know.
entirety of it is actually pretty fucking happy
Is the last
until that last 20%.
25%.
And
Yeah.
you just want to rip your own heart out.
Yeah. I'll gift it to Logan so he lives again.
Like, literally. Trade. Like, I can't. Like, it's
What was your favorite part?
Definitely Christmas Eve. This is the only happy part. And Christmas. And when Cassie was like, "Yeah, I know you're fucking gay, Dad."
No, there was a lot of happy parts throughout it.
there is, but it's
Like the entire first 75% is happy.
it
And
just
literally
feels
until they
so
get kidnapped.
overshadowed by
Yeah.
Logan.
It's literally until they get kidnapped.
Well, I
Everything
mean-
is like perfectly fine, literally.
After you read it the first time, you trauma blocked out that Logan even had POVs.
Yes.
Like, you
Yeah.
you didn't, and then I told you that, and you're like, "No, we didn't." And I'm like, "Yes, he did." And you had to go back and look. You're like, "Holy shit!" Like, I trauma blocked it out
Yeah.
because it makes it so much worse. Like with Taylor, you were never in her head.
Yeah.
Logan, you're in his head the entire goddamn book,
Yeah.
and then
You just know how
dead.
much he loves both of them.
Yeah.
And how happy he is and how excited he is for life with them. And then all of a sudden, just
he
kidding.
doesn't get one.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and you know how much he loves his sister. And
Yep.
it's just like,
And he
well,
loves his life and he loves his family. And like,
It's just.
so excited to be a doctor. Never got to be one.
I think that's one of the worst parts, that he wanted to be a doctor and he knew he was dying.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he was dying and he didn't say anything.
Because he wanted Asher to go back for Cassie.
I think he knew that if he had told Asher he was dying, Asher may have given up.
Or Asher would have done something reckless and got him actually killed.
I don't think you can kill Asher Donovan, though. He's like a fucking cockroach.
No, that man's never dying. But the only reason why Asher actually survived was because of
The
years of
he
abuse.
sustained from his father.
Like all of the nurses and doctors were shocked that he was even alive.
The abuse he sustained from his father and brother is the only thing that kept him alive.
Because his bones like healed like unnaturally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, That was Black Hallows.
And we will not be doing a final ranking because there's no way
There's
to
no
rank
ranking.
this series.
No, there's no one book's better than the other. No couples that's better than the other.
No.
I feel more emotionally attached to this book only because of how like emotional I was, but I can't say that.
It's like you pick a character in this universe and then you feel like you're betraying another.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
Yeah.
So there's no final rankings, guys.
It's just all top tier.
And now that it's over, we're gonna have a special little bonus episode coming out this Saturday, where we interviewed Jeanne Wright herself.
And boy, do we ever grill her about Logan.
We grill her about a lot of shit, guys. You're gonna find some shit about Taylor. You're gonna find some shit about future children's books. You're gonna find out shit about future books just in general. We're gonna talk about the Puck Players, so read that before you go and listen to it if you haven't yet. Just
not just the Puck Player.
Oh, and we do.
I
meant the Puck Boys.
Yeah, we talk about Hollowed Crows. We talk about
yeah.
Tainted Crown. We talk about Puck
all
Boys,
of it.
everything.
So go read her backlog if you don't want any spoilers. I mean, if you're okay with them, cool.
By all means.
Yeah,
that was it.
That was it, guys.
Goodbye, Black Hallows. For now. Once we have Lily's book,
we'll be back.
Oh my God,
we will be back so fast. We'll be back faster than you can blink.
Yep. I also kind of want to cover Tainted Crown or the Kinghead series too.
I want to cover everything Jeanne Wright's ever written in her entire life. So we will be back in her world. Unfortunately, this is goodbye to Black Hallows.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. And rest in peace, Logan Royne.
My sunshine boy.